In this video, I'm gonna share 23 copywriting practices and tips that have helped me write and generate over $100 million in sales for myself and my clients. Number 1, become a lead machine. You'd be shocked at the number of sites I go to still to this day where you cannot even join their email list if you wanted to. And when they do actually provide a way, it's just like join our list, get on our email list. It's so boring. One of the things that you wanna do, particularly going into 2023, is that you need to own your audience. You need to have their contact information so that you can reach out to them and drive sales whenever you want. Launch a pop-up, have an exit pop, have a nav bar on your websites that's continuously offering things in exchange for someone's email address, because it's gonna be exponentially more valuable as we go into this year's marketing. You need to be a lead machine, and I don't want you shooting for these low opt-in rates, 1, 2%, which is what I see a lot of sites have. I want you shooting for that 5, 10% of site visitors joining your email list, being able to opt into your site in some way. And the best way you can do that is get creative with some kind of bribe. Don't just say join our email list. Have something real, valuable, and tangible that you can give people in exchange for their email address when they come to your website. So spend some time giving value before you try to extract it, but you've got to be a lead machine going into this year. Number 2, send more emails. One of the big themes that I'm seeing for this year is that owned audiences will continue to be more and more important because ad costs continue to rise, influencer marketing costs continue to rise, and you need to have a contact database that you own. And if you're going to be going into this year and you want to take your copywriting game to the next level, one of the best things you can do is just send more emails. One of my mentors used to say, what you can't make up in skill, you can make up for in volume. And this is so true when it comes to emails. Send more regular emails if you want more engaged customers, if you want more sales going into your business regular, and you want a channel you control. Number 3, personalize your landing pages to the traffic source. A couple years back, I actually got the chance to test this out. I had done this really long guest post over on this really high traffic site, and they said you get one link over to your own website. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be driving all this traffic from this site over to my site, so I need this opt-in page to work. So I definitely spent some time on the copy and thinking about what I was gonna offer people in exchange for their email address if they came over to my website. But one of the things I knew for sure that I wanted to do was call out the audience and say, attention, this is a special offer being provided to just readers of this publication. And one of the things that happened is that people came over and they clicked off the page and they went, oh wow, this is a specific offer specific to me as a reader of this website. And I saw the opt-in rates exceeding like 80+% for traffic. So you always want to be thinking about ways that you can customize the messaging on your landing pages to the traffic source, because you will see an increase in response every time you do it. The best ones to do are things like cities or listeners of this podcast or readers of this kind of publication. It will always boost your response. Number 4, upsell, upsell, upsell. And when you're done, upsell some more. I've seen customers go from spending $5 on a book to spending over $500 in a store when you do approach upselling right. And yet most businesses, most brands are actually afraid to, upsell their customers, when in reality, it's one of the secrets you can use to grow, because there's always going to be consumers who are able and willing to give them more money. But if you don't give them the chance, they can't actually do it. So one of my favorite pieces of advice to business owners before they even go in and try to refine all the messaging of the copy is just don't be afraid to ask. Launch some upsells, give customers the chance to buy more as they're going throughout the checkout process, and you'd be surprised how many of them actually do this. And then every single time you will see customers come through, and there will be a small percentage of them who take you up on your bigger bundles. And the best upsell that you can do is just to ask people, hey, do you want to buy a little bit more of what you just bought and get a little extra savings on that order? Number 5, keep working to push your average order value upward, upward, upward. Businesses live and die by this number, and yet so many of them leave this number to chance. People say things like, well, that's what the product costs, so how can we get them to spend more? Wrong. What a product costs and how much you end up spending when you leave a store are two totally different things. Have you ever gone to the grocery store with the plan just to get like 1 or 2 things, and you're out the door, and before you know it, you've spent over $70 buying tons of stuff? That's the perfect example of how you optimize the average order value, and brands like Costco are the kings at this. You should be doing the same in your business. You should be giving customers the incentive to spend more when they shop with you. You should be finding ways for customers to add more products to their cart before they ever finish transacting with you. Some of my favorite ways to do this are by increasing your free shipping threshold, because you'll see people, add an additional item just so they get free shipping. It has an irrational power on response. Or you might try a free gift after a customer spends over a certain amount. So you take a look at your average order value and see how you can continuously push that limit over the year, and you'll be surprised how much more money you have to dump into advertising, how much more money you have freed up in the business now that your customers are spending more money with you every time they shop with your brand. Number 6, stop sending traffic straight to your homepage or product pages and start sending them to advertorials instead. Now, some of you are like, what, Rob? These are article-like posts like 7 reasons why celebrities prefer this teeth whitening treatment over the dentist that get way more engagement than most ads. That ends up resulting in lower cost per click and many times higher conversion rates. Is that you don't want to just be sending to your homepage or, leaving the conversion to chance by just whatever you have on the landing page in your store. You can prime those buyers, get lower cost per click by sending them to advertorials instead. Number 7, launch consumption funnels. Over the past couple years, we've seen things in the world of e-commerce and the world of info product sales just get even more competitive. And where money used to just be flying into these industries left and right, VCs were just cutting checks everywhere. Now the money has dried up a little bit. And so we're seeing a lot of brands get back to the basics. And one of the things that you're seeing is people are no longer just thinking about how do I drive that first sale? They're like, how do I create customers that are buying over and over again from a brand? And one of the biggest secrets to this is not just to keep selling the customer instantly after they finish checking out with you. It's to make sure your customers are actually using the products they buy. Now raise your hand if you're guilty of, buying a product, maybe a supplement or something, and shoving it into the back of your pantry, or buying something because you saw an ad one day and then just sitting it to the side because you never actually get it out of the box and you build the whole thing. This is the reality for many customers. And one of the best things that you can do to make sure customers continuously shop with your brand is to make sure they actually use the products they have. So one of the biggest copywriting secrets I know when it comes to email marketing and post-purchase campaigns is not to, think about how to drive that next sale immediately, but to how to actually design a funnel that gets the person to use the products and to see the benefits in it. So by sharing, recipes if it's a supplement, or by sharing different ways that you can work the product into your daily lifestyle, to making sure that the person is very happy with the purchase. These things lead to consumption, and the number one way to create demand for the next order is to make sure they actually use the thing that they just bought. Number 8, collect more intel on your best buyers and figure out what they want next. If you're a fan of marketing, you've probably heard of the 80-20 rule, made famous by Perry Marshall. The rule basically says that 80% of your results will come from just 20% of the inputs in a system. So if you think about all of the customers inside of your database, 80% of the value you get will come just from a small subset of those customers, 20% of them in fact. 80-20 power law actually even breaks down even further into 90-10 and 95-5. And so taking a look at your best customers and finding out who they are, what age they are, what other publications do they read, what products do they want to see from you next, figuring out how you can serve that group of people will provide enormous value to your brand. I've actually worked with brands in the past where I've gone in and actually taken out the top 100 customers in their database and actually just surveyed them and figured out, what are their biggest desires? What are their burning needs? What problems do they want solved? And come up with some of the best campaigns and product ideas as a result. Number 9, start monetizing leads in 2 ways, directly and indirectly. Most brands are familiar with how to directly monetize their leads. It's you get them to transact inside of your store. But so many brands leave so much value on the table because they don't think, I have this customer. What else could I potentially offer them to create even more value for their brand? One good example of this is like brands that sell mattresses inside their store. Most of the time people go shop with a mattress brand. They're not going to just instantly buy another mattress overnight. And so you think the value of this customer is over after they spent one transaction with you. But the reality is, if you are smart about how you gather data on this person, there's so many different things you might be able to offer them instead. And that's the indirect way of monetizing them. Because maybe after they complete the purchase for a mattress, they're interested in sheets. Maybe they're interested in pillows. Maybe they actually just moved into a new apartment and they're looking for renter's insurance, and they're looking for all different types of decor for their living situation. This is literally untapped value that so many brands don't think about by thinking about how you might be able to capture additional information, introduce affiliate offers, just making sure that your purchase doesn't end with the customer just spending money directly, because almost every brand has an infinite way of indirect ways that customers can spend money with them if they are smart about how they use data and then market to those people really effectively by having copywriters go into the back end of those funnels and write really personalized copy to them based on the transactions that they just completed, driving them to one that maybe is indirectly related to another one that they might be interested in buying as well. Number 10, create more value in your offer so that you can charge even higher prices. One of the best things that you can do for any product that you sell is create an additional little cushion of margin so that you can go out, buy more traffic, so that you can serve your customers better, so that you can do so many different things that will help your business grow by having a little bit more profit every time you make a sale. But most brands are scared to do this. They go the opposite direction. They keep discounting their product. But remember, price is what you pay, value is what you get. So one of my favorite things to do for any business that I work with is to go into their offer and try to find ways to add more bonuses in. Maybe if it's a supplement product, you make it a challenge and there's actually, a whole kit that you sell alongside of the supplements that you offer. Maybe you go in and you actually interview some experts on things related to the product that will help people get additional benefits in it. And then you package it up into your offer where that you can actually raise your prices of how much you're charging over time so that you're not moving the other way and actually declining your prices. So go in, take a look at the offers you're making and say, hey, could I add a couple of things to to this? Could be digital, could be an ebook, could be some interviews, could be some video bonuses. Could I increase the value of what I'm giving to someone so that they are willing to pay a higher price in exchange for more value that they're getting? Number 11, leverage SMS. This is still a very early channel. I saw some stat the other day that was like over 80% of consumers are now on board with the SMS train. They're willing and able to receive SMS text as a marketing channel, but only 40% of businesses are actually using SMS. This is a massive opportunity for people. Think of the early days of email. You're getting like 80+% open rates, huge click-through rates, and everyone is on their phone. And so by having the ability to actually leverage this channel and market to your customers, that is going to give so many brands a big advantage. But you cannot just, be blasting it like a coupon deal generator like Bed Bath & Beyond does. You need to be thinking about how to actually write some copy in these things so that it is a channel your customers actually look forward to consuming, and so that they are, not just tuning you out like white noise, so that they are eager and excited when you send them SMS that are priming them for maybe content or priming them to actually buy something. So leverage this channel if you really want to get ahead. Number 12, seed new product launches with your customers. One of the most common questions I get from brand owners is they're like, I want to make a new product, or we have this new product coming out and I want to make sure that it sells really well upon the launch. And so they come up with these grand launch strategies and all these things. And I'm like, wow, you are basically going to just hope that everyone on the day of it comes out is really excited about this. Hope all your marketing angles are proven out. Hope that you have, testimonials and reviews upon day one that people actually believe and trust in, because most people are gonna be like, well, this is to your staff. And the way that I love to do it is to flip it on its head, not leave all these variables to chance, to actually go into the product launches that we'll be doing and give customers, particularly the best customers in your database, early access to product launches. Go ahead and send them their stuff early. Let them know that they're actually getting early access because they're your customers, and they're going to be able to seed you with reviews, UGC, and you're going to have copy that you can actually test on your market and see how they're going to potentially respond to it. So if you wonder how brands come out and they're like, how do they have reviews on this product already? It just launched. How do they have all this UGC? How do they have all these proven hooks? It's probably because they're seeding their launches to their best customers before they go out. And so if you want to have some launches that sell out over this year, what I would encourage you to do is try this approach. Go seed your launches to your best customers. You'll have less inventory when you actually go to launch it to everyone else. It will have a proven angle, and you will have so much more reviews, so much more social proof that's driving, the sales volume even higher. Number 13, create a top customer segment and invite them to come behind the scenes with you over the next couple months. One of my favorite things to do is to take the best customers and market to them. I think I've actually included it in like 3 different tips, but it is a super powerful marketing strategy to always take your best people and continue to serve them in the best ways that you know how. One of my favorite things I've done over the past couple months is I've actually created a 1% list on my email list. These are the people who open my emails, who buy all my products, who are excited to receive my content more than anyone else. And I share content with them that no one else sees. And so they know they have a completely different type of relationship with me. I'm making deposits in their relationship. They deposit things back, and it creates a whole different type of relationship with the brand. And yet so many brands are not doing things like this. And so I would very much encourage you to do this, or to try this strategy out. Try marketing to your best customers, inviting them behind the scenes, letting them get access to things that no one else even knows about, and they will reward you for doing so. Number 14, run more time-sensitive sales. When I was first getting started as a copywriter, my first mentor told me, he said, there's only one way that's guaranteed to improve the response of an advertisement, and that's add a fat deadline to the top. And so this is something I encourage all brands to do, to make sure that they are running some type of time-sensitive sales over the course of the year, because you will get an exponential boost in the response from your marketing once you add a deadline to what you're doing. It could be limited inventory if you're against discounts, but if you want to run limited time discounts, that can be a powerful strategy to do, at least once a month, but you can even do this weekly if you're really smart about it. A couple years back, I was actually working with a big health and wellness brand, and we had come up with a strategy for every single week we were going to highlight products. They could be potentially cross-selling products, introducing customers of one product to another, or it could be, just pitching one product to the whole list for an entire week. But we would dedicate an entire week's marketing to actually spotlighting these products and running a short time-sensitive sale, and we would see this massive increase in the response of our marketing week over week, because we had a deadline attached every 7 days to the campaigns we were running. Now, you don't have to go as aggressive we did and go weekly with it, but I would encourage you to add more time-sensitive sales to your campaign strategy, because it's the only way that's guaranteed to boost the response of your marketing. Number 15, gather and use more customer reviews. Some people don't think of this as a copywriting task, but I believe it is one of the foundational things that you can do as a copywriter, because social proof is a powerful force. And yet so many copywriters just leave, the review getting process or the review sharing process to chance. And you don't want to do that. You want to have your marketing really dialed in and think about how you're actually collecting the testimonials from your customers and how you're going to use them in your marketing. Because so many people, they're just like, they're okay with a 5-star review that says great product, but copywriters know it's best to actually, show some of that skepticism. Say, I was considering trying this thing, but I was a little skeptical because of X, Y, and Z reason. And then this one thing kind of got me over the hump. And some of your best hooks, some of your best promotional strategies will actually come from, having more reviews that you are skimming over and actually using them in your marketing, because your customers actually tell you why they're buying the product, but are you paying attention enough to see those reasons why and echo it back in your marketing? So many don't, but you can totally do that if you want to be really smart about copywriting and using psychology in your marketing. Number 16, write more emotionally charged ads. One of the things that you're seeing on every ad platform is that things are just getting more competitive. And the early Wild Wild West days of, Facebook in 2015, where you could just, throw up an image of a product and it would just sell like crazy, is going away. And one of the things that you're seeing is that ads really need some type of emotional pull to really stand out and actually make a big impact on these platforms. The other day I was actually working with them on coaching students, and there was this ad that they were working on that was just so factual. It was like, here's this program I offer. It will help you become a better creator. It will help you make money through this program. And it was just really factual and dense. And I was like, no, let's go the emotional route. And so there was this testimonial one of their customers had left. It was like, I never understood why all these creators were succeeding, yet I was putting in the same amount of work. I was going to the same events. I had read the same books, and I was failing. Was there something just wrong with me? And using that quote that just got right to the emotional core of the problem was a great hook for the ad. It's like, no, there's nothing wrong with you. You just didn't have the same roadmap. You didn't have the same inputs in your system. Do you want me to show you a better path, a better way? Here's this program that I have. You wanted me to tell you about it? It's such a better ad experience, right? One is just like all factual and dry. The other starts out with this emotional hook. And those types of ads will just continue to dominate, and they will continue to clean up house over the more generic ads that are going to be running and probably no longer working anymore. Number 17, stack business models. In my opinion, one of the worst things we've seen over the past couple of years is that people no longer just think of them as, running a business or selling, products online. They identify as specific types of business sellers. They're saying, oh, I sell e-com, or oh, I sell information products. This is a huge mistake, because at the end of the day, it's all just commerce. And the best brands will actually find a way to blend these two things together. Some of the best e-commerce brands will actually have info products stacked into their product set. So it's like selling a, physical supplement and then having a digital information course to go along with it to help you get additional benefits. The same goes for information products. Some of the biggest innovations will actually occur by having, a SaaS component to the business, by having an e-commerce component where you're sending out physical products in addition to the digital one, and copywriting as the foundation of it all, to making sure these offers take off like rocket ships when you actually launch them, because there's enormous synergy that comes from combining these two business models instead of thinking them as two separate worlds. And copywriters are the thinkers. They are the people who can, see the strategy that needs to go into the marketing and not get so bogged down in the weeds of like, this is the thing I sell. It's like, no, these are the customers that I'm serving. How do I best market to them with ideas and physical products that can serve them overall in the long haul? Number 18, optimize your checkout experience. I can't tell you how important this is. The other day I was actually reading the stat that said, over 70% of shopping carts are abandoned. There's a lot of reasons why. It could be, a person just bored and they were checking their phone while they were about to get on an airplane, and then they just totally forgot about it. In those situations, it is not necessarily always your fault, but in a lot of cases, I see the copy on checkout pages be super flat, super boring. You've got to enter 17 fields into this, and copywriters have a lens that they can go and apply and say, hey, what information do I need to capture? What is most likely to create this purchase in a really streamlined manner? And how can I optimize this checkout experience so that I don't see 70% of people, abandoning the checkout for our store? So I would really have a copywriter go in and actually audit your checkout process. It could be potentially just dropping the fields that you're asking for, but there could be certain subtle messaging things going on your checkout pages that are causing your customers to bounce, and you don't want to leave that to chance. You want to have it optimized in a way that it is leading to conversions when they are so close to the sale. Number 19, more video content. And this is where copywriters can totally play a hand in this, because they can start handing you scripts for things that would traditionally be written and help you get the spoken word out there more, because we see attention spans continue to drop. We see that, dollar for dollar, putting money into, YouTube influencers is providing a powerful ROI for brands, and so many people are just now consuming video. It is the way of the future, and there's no rule that says copywriting has to just be copywriting. It can be copy speaking. Some of the best copywriters of all time actually do a lot of video scripting, and I would very much encourage you to embrace more video content if you want a deeper connection with your customers, if you want to drive more sales, and if you want to have your marketing on the cutting edge of what you need to be doing to stand out. Number 20, conduct a top 10 audit of things to double down on. Some of the biggest wins in business don't come from adding more and more strategies to your plate. It comes from doing the things that you do well even better. So one of my favorite things to do for businesses is take a look at the top 10 most visited pages, the top 10 most revenue driving emails, the top 10 selling products in a store, and then see how you can go in and potentially start to optimize these things, because you can drive exponentially more results for a brand by doing more of what you're already doing just a little bit better than by adding a whole new layer of something to your business. One of my favorite examples of this come from a natural health brand I was working with a couple years ago. We did a top 10 audit of things to double down on the site. And in fact, there was so much traffic coming to this one web page. We were like, wow, what if we created products based around this? What if we had an information product based around this, so that we could see them throughout the article and use that audience that we were building based on it to actually have something for them to sell. And those ended up being some of the top selling products of all time by taking a look at the thing we were doing and saying, hey, could we drive some extra value here? Could we maybe capture better leads here? And yes is the answer for most brands. Number 21, the flip side of this, conduct a top 10 audit of things to fix. You know, a lot of businesses just roll from one year into the next without actually taking a pause and actually looking at data. Are there any big breaks in the funnels that you actually have? One of the biggest things that you can do is go into your funnels and go into, your retention paths and see, are there any big points of drop off? And could we patch those leaky holes and maybe get an exponential increase as a result? And one of my favorite examples of this is a couple years back, I was working with this supplement brand and we were taking a look at their customers on subscription. And one of the things we noticed is that there was this huge drop off from month 2 to month 3, where basically the customer would get the first box, they would get the second box, and then a lot of them would cancel. And we're like, wow, what's going on? Why is this huge drop off occurring at the end of the second month of the subscription? And so we went in and we actually took a look at, surveyed some of the customers, took a look at, the data in our database, and we're like, it turned out so many of the customers were just like, man, I have so much of the product on hand at this point because of, shipping delays with the first one or things of that nature, or just not using it all right away, or, just by the time they got to the second box, they had too much. And so they were like, I don't want the third one coming in and actually knocking this whole thing off. So we went in, we actually optimized each part of the thing. So we told people it's going to take a couple days before it gets there. So you might want to actually consider pausing your first subscription. And all these things combined together into where them getting to the end of month 2 and this massive drop off, the customer stuck around. They maybe paused the subscription. They maybe didn't have, so much on hand on the first supply. And it completely transformed the business, because you get a customer going from, sticking for 2 months to now sticking for 8, 10, 24 months long. And it only comes about by taking a look at the things you need to actually fix. So get that data back in front of you. Take a look at the core funnels you have. Are there any big points of drop off? And take a look at how you might be able to fix them through copywriting. And it is a powerful growth lever for your business. Number 22, survey sales. Now, this is one of the things that just completely blew my mind whenever we actually tested it a couple years ago. We had a client, they were like, I don't know what we want to do for our Labor Day sales, so just ask the customers. So we ended up polling the customers and we were like, okay, well, they had all these different options, and we were like, well, what if we didn't, provide just one type of sale, the one that just had the most? What if we sent each customer who actually voted a specific type of sale, the one that they actually voted on? Would we see a boost in response? And one of the things that we found is when we asked the customers to vote on the sale and then we sent them the specific sale that they said they wanted to have, people prefer different types of deals. And then we actually sent them those deals and we saw an exponential increase in the results of the sales campaign as a result. So we started rolling this out for all of our clients, and I've had so many students actually take me up on this, and trust me, it works. People are telling you what they want, and all you have to do now is actually just give it to them. Marketing rule number 1, give people what they want. And this is how you know before you go into big sales, this is specifically what they want to have. Number 23, launch a referral program. Word of mouth marketing is one of the most powerful ways that all of us learn about brands. Think about the last couple products you bought. Maybe you learned about it from someone else. And this is true for so many different types of businesses, yet when we go to actually do marketing online, for somehow we forget this referral piece can be so powerful to our business. And copywriters are the secret to actually making this work, right? Because so many businesses, if you're telling them, okay, just launch a referral program, start to encourage customers to, refer a friend into the store or refer a reader to your newsletter, it's going to land a little flat, right? So copywriters can come in and actually help you come up with, true incentives, true bribes, true reasons why someone might want to share, or even taking a look at, after someone has completed this, they are most likely to actually be, sharing the brand in a positive way. Maybe it's leaving a 5-star review for the product. And then that's when you actually go in and actually say, hey, my gosh, so glad you actually love this product. We want more customers like you. Feel free to actually share this link out with a friend. We'll actually send them, a $10 gift card, and we'll send you one in exchange for, sending business our way. And that can be a powerful way for you to leverage one customer into 2, because word of mouth marketing is so powerful, and yet so many businesses just leave it to chance. Have a copywriter go in and help you structure these things, design these types of campaigns, and you will have your business not just generating, one sale every time a customer comes through, but you'll get this exponential feedback where a customer comes in, they love the product, they then share it out with a friend, then they buy again, and then they share it out with a friend, and you've suddenly turned one customer into 10. And then and that can be a powerful growth lever for any business for sure. So those were 23 copywriting practices that I preach and teach, but these alone won't make you a true master at the art of copywriting. For that, you need to know the 3 timeless fundamental laws of copywriting. I'll see you over there now.